Hello and welcome back to the Flubcast. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing round two Guyana versus Trinidad and Tobago. It was a big matchup in Guyana. Lots of talk about it, lots of work went into it, and it was clear that both sides learned from round one and were coming out hard. In the end, TNT would be extremely happy with the final result. It was 26 TNT, Guyana 3. So, a little bit of a change up there from round one, of course. What did we learn from it? What are the main talking points? What are the main players out there? Who am I going to highlight in my Flub top three? And before I do any of that, actually, I just want to do a little quick housekeeping. And these are just my personal opinions of when I'm watching these events, these RAN events. I am aware, as all of us are, is that we are not tuning in expecting the quality of the All Blacks or Australia or South Africa. There might be a few extra knock-ons and some drop balls, etc. That unfortunately comes with amateur sport. But I would actually say this is the first time I watched the event that even I wanted to be like, this commentator just can't stop saying negative things. He was harping about the mountain knock-ons and in his day how the kickers used to make more kicks, etc. I am aware of that. When I'm tuning in, I need you to basically tell me things I can't see. So the camera angle was incredibly tight, which means I couldn't actually see how the defensive back three were adjusting, which was frustrating enough. But I'm expecting when you have a knock-on to say, okay, commentator would start focusing and say, okay, how are the offense lining up in this position? What are they trying to do? What are the defense trying to do? And help me paint that picture about what they're trying to achieve. But for the entire time, he was basically just rambling on negative things. I mean, I saw the knock on. Thank you. I don't need help seeing that. I need help understanding what's happening in this position and what the players are trying to achieve. Again, I know I'm not the best commentator, but it was very, very frustrating watching somebody basically just crap on our programs for 2 hours. The irony, of course, being as well that the commentator, when a try scored, was yelling touchdown as well. So, I mean, if we want to say we want a certain standard, let's also push ourselves to do a certain standard. So the camera angles, unfortunately, were very tight. So I'm only going to really be able to focus on the points of contact itself. As we just continue talking about the event and us trying to make it look a certain standard, I just want to highlight something about the ARs and the referees that, again, I thought this one presentation really, really highlighted. First off, when it comes to the ARs, it is pretty unacceptable that when a ball is outside the 22 is kicked directly into touch or passed back into the 22 and then they just kick it into touch, that at this level of international rugby we still don't know where to mark it, and they were marketed where the ball was going out of bounds, etc. And the ref would sometimes have to come and talk to them and say, didn't that go straight out? And the ref, of course, is focusing on a million other things. So this is bread and butter for the ARs. And of course, as well, when it's out of bounds, you do have to point to the team who is in possession, just for the fans and players as well. Okay, that's just a quick point. In terms of the referee, and this is just so that we talking openly about things, me as a fan watching, and the experience as a fan who wants to tune into future RAN events. When he blows his whistle, you expect the referee to instantly point to see whose ball it is, and then do some sort of hand movement which would indicate what the penalty was for. And I thought I was frustrated enough as a fan. I could imagine being a player on the field. He would blow, he would take a second, he would slowly walk into position and raise his hand. He wouldn't say, okay, it was because of offside, or diving in off your feet, or not releasing the ball. Like, these hand movements are vital for not only the fans at home, but the wingers and the fullback to know what is the call and how do they adjust based on what was called. But I'm not going to run down that much longer. I just keep on thinking, and I keep on just saying, is that I don't really understand how we who are throwing RAN events are trying to use the exact template of international rugby and expecting like, oh, well, there should be no difference because this is our international game. We are still building and learning, and we have to present it in a certain way that is a little bit different and make it fun and make it more just an all-around better experience for viewers and players and fans coming out. If we try to compete against the top quality, people are just going to tune into the top quality. That's just my opinion. But enough of that. Let's get on to what people actually care about, and that is what happened. So here are some of my main talking points from the game, and then I'll get to my top three players. One is, I don't care what the commentator said. Just watching when players were tackled and they were getting up and their shirt was covered in mud, the field was clearly saturated in certain areas, and it caused a ton of knock-ons. It caused a ton of dropped high kicks and balls and loose play. And it was going to get down. It was very clear from early that it was going to be a positional battle. And it's going to come to the boot of Brathwaite for Guyana. He's a scrum half who has great box kicking options, top quality. I think it might be the best kickoff in Iran. And our fly half, who is Rory O'Farrell. Was it Rory O'Farrell's best game? No. He had lots of knock-ons. He kicked into touch tons of times. But there's one dimension of play that Rory is head and shoulders over most fly halves in the region, and that is his range of kicking options. Every kick doesn't have to be kick it as hard as possible down the fullback throat. Rory has something where he identifies when the defense is trying to do a rush defense, and he puts these little uncomfortable kicks over that now has all those defending players in an offside position. An entire backline of Trinidad is now sprinting onto the fullback, and the fullback has to run because he's not close enough, so he's trying to work, and one little tap through from a Trinidad player and it's off to the races down the field. So it's all these little uncomfortable kicks, and it's because Rory was able to identify what the defense was trying to do, where the wingers were, where the fullback were, and he did that several times, and every time he did, it created a ton of problems. So that was fantastic work by Rory, in my opinion. Two, I would say congrats to Guyana. You all obviously put a ton of work into your lineouts. You all opted, instead of just throwing up one man at one, there were several times where you all competed with two jumpers. You all caused all sorts of problems. It was no longer a great attacking option for Trinidad. It was 50-50. And again, the field conditions weren't easy, but excellent work. Yes, Trinidad were able to still fire a few shots from a line out or two, and excellent work there. But Guyana, it's clear that you all are going in the right direction, and I just wanted to highlight that. As three, just like I'm bigging up Guyana, I want to big up TNT for the improvement of their scrum. They brought on big AC. They said, Fatis, you bring a lot in open field, but we need to secure the base of the scrum. And AC and Trezine were immense. They basically took all that attacking option, where before in round one, Guyana would get this great go forward. Valon Adams would pick and go and cause unbelievable problems for Trinidad. We just couldn't stop it, and in this game it was a complete turnaround. We decided, let's hit them from the start, and it worked like a charm. Like, Valon never got to fire a shot, and it was absolutely fantastic, and we completely just worked, and when we brought on our bench, it was then what they called for, the finish. And I thought that was fantastic and very smart play by the TNT coaches. Number four, I'm going to talk about how Trinidad and Tobago were able to control the ruck tempo offensively and defensively. In round one, the big boys for Guyana were able to rumble slowly. Brathwaite controlled it. Again, it was all off front foot from Valon Adams. And in this game, TNT played very smartly. They really controlled, and in fact, sometimes they even were able to get penalties from Guyana by just recognizing when a Guyanese player was slightly offside and just doing these little picks right into him, right in front of the referee, and just winning a penalty from that free ball, and then we'd slam it up the field for a line out. I thought that was great work, and great work, of course, by our scrum half as well, who was able to look up and read and move off it. Fantastic. Him and Rory were a pair that could really be dangerous in the future. And five, I would like to just highlight Trinidad and Tobago's bench, or finishers as they're known today, for an outstanding work when they came onto the field. You were there to finish and up the tempo and play the game correctly, and you all did. AC and those boys burnt out their scrum in the first half, and when you came on, and I would like to specifically highlight four guys. It was Carmichael, who, when he plays, it's just fantastic. He's up the tempo for a big man. The man could move and shift, and he created rucks in the right area to roll off of. And the same thing for Nigel Ballington. You know what he could bring to the table, but to bring him on against a tired team was a brilliant move, and I thought he was fantastic. Ascari as well, congratulations on your first cap. I thought you were great when you came on. Even what you added to the line out, great work. And Jonathan Stewart, well done. Even coming in there with some scrum half work off the base. Great work, Jonathan. So fantastic. One little criticism you'll notice from the TNT scrum, just for anybody really watching, is that our flankers, for some reason, we engage when we're already standing, and we just kind of lean into it. And traditionally, what you'd want as a flanker is almost let the prop sit on your shoulders, so that when they get, you hear that engage. You almost rocket the prop in. Let him get that initial hit of your energy as well. Add that like as a booster, and you hit and you take those 2-step little just pump just so he could set his feet. And then when the ball is in, you could kind of semi-relax a little bit and then look and make sure you're available. But we're almost just engaging and expecting our tight five to do it all. Give them that extra booster shot up front so that they could get the footing right, and then you could disengage. But otherwise, I thought our flanking options and even 8 were fantastic. So unfortunately for Guyana, I think realistically they're going to be very, very frustrated because they never got an opportunity to fire their shot. And I think after such a fantastic performance in round 1, they're going to be so frustrated and they're going to want to come back and play a great game. I'm looking forward to seeing them when they play their next fixture. I want to see where they develop from here. I think they have a ton of talent and it's pretty exciting times to be a part of Guyanese rugby. But I would also say I would have killed if anybody took one to please share if anybody did an interview with Guyana's captain after the game. They did that in TNT. I was able to meet with him and speak with him and we posted that, and it would be so interested to hear their thoughts about how they approach the game, what they thought worked and what they didn't do. So if anybody has any interview, please share it with us or send me a video and I'll post it on the channel for everybody who's interested. So with that, here are my top 3 players of the game. Number 3, as I spoke about, I'm going to give it to Nathaniel Cadiz, who's the scrum half for TNT. The tempo from the ruck, the communication, I'm seeing him yelling, even with some of those setting up the rolling mauls, a lot more patience. You're seeing him talking, you're seeing him tapping players, fantastic. And the vision when they had a ruck that was fast and there was nobody there, he would just give that millisecond look up to see who's there, and he scored his try brilliantly when nobody was marking the post and he went. Nathaniel Cadiz, you're playing beyond your years. Well done. Number 2, I'm going to give it to AC. As I said, a rock in his scrum. He helped Trezine with a lot of extra carries. We needed that extra ball carrier and he stood up again. A lot less knock-ons actually. Jamal helped him a lot there too with those extra little carries. Not always, as I would say, it's not always about making a ton of yards, just advance the gain line and you're setting up your rock to lock off certain defenders. And I think it took away, of course, because of AC's scrumming and others, took away Guyana's main attacking platform, which was their scrum, which they absolutely killed, and all of the things that went right for Guyana stem from them winning those scrum engagements. And the top player, of course, is try-scoring hero Anderson Joseph. Moved from the wing, and I was a little bit skeptical because he's so fantastic as a defender and finisher out there, but he was brilliant. He increased the tempo. He was like a torpedo coming off the side there. He stopped all the play going out. He's so great with even like the little tap and just go as well because he just beats that first man. He's so strong and hard to bring down. Fantastic, fantastic work there, Anderson Joseph. It'll be hard to move here. And can I also just say, of course, the TNT 8-man pick worked because we moved Anderson there and he's genius at those 8-man picks, but it's behind a tight 5 that is going forward. You could only get that platform when you have their flankers under duress, and that is exactly what happened. So congratulations, TNT. Thank you all for that performance. It was fantastic. And again, no criticism for everybody. We're just highlighting so we could continue to grow. And I'm hoping that we could, as just fans and supporters of the RAN fraternity, we could improve the product as well as the players continue to improve. So congratulations, guys. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the future. All the best. Bye.